Tamily. It is time for our fourth breast cancer warrior interview for this special month of October. And it's Ask Tamily interview 118. 118! Our guest today is Susan Rothman. She will be joining us in just a second. And of course, we have some questions planned for her, but it's the most fun to ask questions live in the chat. So make sure to type in any questions that you have, and we will be sure to get them all in. She will be connecting in just a moment. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. We should have Susan in just a second. My puppies say hello. And here's hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for joining us, especially during this special month of Breast Cancer Warrior interviews for the Tamily. We're honored to have you as our 118th interview, Susan.
Well, thank you. I'm honored to be here.
Absolutely. So we want to jump right in with one of our favorite questions.
Okay.
When and how did you start with the Tracy Anderson method?
I have been doing the method for probably over 10 years. And it was the Goop article with Gwyneth Paltrow. So I still have a vivid memory of like Gwyneth and Tracy standing next to each other and like the height difference and what she had done for her body and what Tracy had done for her own body. And that's how I started. I got Metamorphosis and started that way.
Excellent. So you did Metamorphosis and then into continuity before streaming?
I did the whole thing.
Oh, that is so
I did all 4 years. I did it all. Actually, I finished like a month or two into streaming. So I didn't start streaming until a month or two in. But I did the whole thing and then went right into streaming.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it was great.
Fantastic. So today with streaming, what workout do you usually do?
I usually do Attain, and I try to stay in that Attain lane. But she's really taken Attain to the next level, I found. And I can't always manage to perform it the way I want to. So I will add 1 to 2 days of fundamental into it. Because I do work out most days, and I do find some weeks are different. I can do Attain all the time. Other weeks I'll add in like 1 to 2 fundamentals. Sometimes I like fundamental better. Sometimes I find it harder and I'm getting more benefit from that, and I'll do more of that. Mm-hmm. It kind of depends on the week. We have like so many options. It's amazing. Like when I first started streaming, you had 1 class.
Yeah.
And that was it. However long it was, because she did it all different lengths at that time too. Because whenever Tracy teaches, it's not necessarily an hour. Everybody knows it's like more than an hour.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I do.
Do you do dance cardio as well?
I don't. I'm not very good. I will go through stages where I do it a little bit. If I do dance cardio now, and I did for a while learn some of the dances, like way back, and I still know some of them, sort of. I'm sure if I, did it for a while, I'd get back to them. If I do it now, I like to do the 15-minute bonus cardio. Like that's like ideal for me. If I need to get like a little added boost, I do that. And sometimes if I need a little added boost, I'll do the arms from the opposite class that I did. Yeah. Because that kind of gives you a boost without like a full jumping or,
Right.
and follow them.
Yeah, that's an excellent idea. So do you use heat and humidity at home as well?
I
No.
don't. I don't. I'm in a room, so I don't have any like cold air blowing on me.
Okay.
And I did try to get a heater, and for some reason I couldn't get it to work in my basement.
Mhm.
I do close the door. I do like turn up my heat in my basement, but it's not that I get the true like effect of heat and humidity at all. So,
What kind of results have you seen over the years of doing the method?
toning. I never could tone.
Mhm.
I bulk very easily. I'm short and I bulk in my legs and I bulk very easily. I used to do a ton of cardio before Tracy. I used to do cardio. I used to work with a personal trainer. I used to lift. I used to anything, any of the newest trends. I used to take all those classes. They're like, you shouldn't be building. And I was like, well, I'm building. I'm not toning the way I want to.
Mhm.
I feel like bulky and like when you're short and you're bulky, you seem like I don't want to. Wasn't the look I wanted.
Yeah.
And I also was like famished all the time.
Mhm.
The more cardio you do, the more famished you are.
Yeah,
Like, and you
absolutely.
just can't get yourself to be full.
Right.
So
Yeah, that definitely happens no matter what the um cardio is, if it's dance cardio or anything.
yeah, like even now I just try to balance it because sometimes the attain really gets your heart rate up. And it definitely is a cardio workout a lot of times.
Yeah. Um, we do have a question in the chat that I'll go ahead and ask you from Debate Champ. And she said, what made you decide to so actively support new Tamily members?
Um, because the Tamily has supported me so much that I just wanted to help whoever I could. It's such a supportive community that I'm just happy to be a part of. I have gotten such benefits from when I started posting my videos and people getting to know me that I was like, you know who I am? Like, so yes, so that's why. And I know like what kind of results I've gotten and how I feel doing the method that I want other people to feel that way.
Have you ever met Tracy?
I have. I've met her a few times, but the very first time I met Tracy, my husband had surprised me. So it was a big birthday for me. And we, my oldest was in college. So she came home to watch my other two. I have three daughters. And we went to New York and we stayed in New York overnight. And then he told me to bring like workout clothes because we were going to drive to the Hamptons to go to a spa. Don't ask. I just kind of, it was one of those things you just kind of go with the flow.
Mm-hmm.
And I just went with the flow. And I had seen pictures of the Hampton studio. And like, as we're driving in, I like was like in awe. I was like, what's going on? I was in tears in the parking lot. Like that we were actually like at the studio. Because at that point I had never been to a studio, even though I'm close to New York, I had never been. And he's like, well, Tracy's supposed to be teaching. My oldest had set up the whole thing, and
Aww.
my husband kept calling like every day. And my birthday is usually around Labor Day. It's right after Labor Day. So he's like, she's supposed to be teaching. So she was, and I met her and I took the class and she knew it was my birthday. She literally put me next to her.
Oh my gosh.
I took the class. I did some cardio after with her. She was lovely and down to earth, and everything everybody says about her is so true. And um, just so sweet. And then we drove home, and he had a surprise party in my house
Oh
for
my God.
me, like, which was almost a 4-hour drive from like the Hamptons to South Jersey, that my kids had put together. Like, he knew which of my friends to get, whatever. It was just, and then we drove my daughter to the train Monday morning because she was going back to college, and she was going through Instagram and goes, "Oh shit, mom!" She posted me on her store on her Instagram,
Oh my
the
God.
video of me doing the method right next to her.
Wow. That's amazing.
That, yeah, it was amazing. It was like so real, and I was in shock. Like, he couldn't, he couldn't have gotten me a better gift.
Yeah. Wow, that is really cool. That is an
Yeah.
amazing
Yeah.
first studio visit, meeting Tracy. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I've met her a few times since then, but that was our first meeting, and I was in awe of meeting her. I
Yeah.
was, you're in tears in the parking lot going like, I never thought that. I didn't have any idea where we were going, and I just kind of went with it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
So we have a comment in the chat. I'm gonna read. It doesn't look like a question, but it's from P. Gonzalez Navarro, and she said, "I would like to thank Susan for being my accountability partner and always making sure I get the workout in." Thought I would just read that one. That's very
Thank you, Pilar. And I will be checking up on you because you missed it today.
That's excellent. Speaking of workout partners, do you have regular workout partners?
I didn't up until actually COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really. I had met somebody. I had met Non Glam Tam,
Okay.
but after COVID, when they started all those Zooms, those are my workout partners now. I know there's always like a Zoom in the morning, and I will pop on a few times a week or once on the weekend or whenever it works. Depending on my schedule that day, there's different ones, different times. And those are my workout buddies, and it's great.
Yeah, that is a really excellent part of this whole, COVID experience that
It's like the only positive thing that came out of COVID for me is I got to meet so many Tamily members. Like, now we got to get out of COVID so we can all travel.
exactly. Definitely. I feel like going through withdrawal this long, not having seen any family people in person. It's great.
Yes, I so agree.
Yeah, yeah. But thank goodness we already had this community where we're connected. And then you could just take it to the next level by working out almost every day together over Zoom.
Yes.
So cool.
Zoom is wonderful. Wonderful.
What is something that you have learned from Tracy?
Balance. Definitely balance. Like, balance in my body, balance in my life, that it's okay to, like, do it every day like you brush your teeth, or, you need to move your body. If you want the results, you need to move. And, some people say you only need it, 3 times a week or something, but like, you actually need it more.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
and it's so good. It doesn't have to look the same every day. But it does have to be done most days.
Yeah, that is a good point too, about it doesn't have to look the same. Like, you do want to have that honest conversation with yourself and make sure you do the right workout for you for that day. But
exactly. Like, sometimes you just don't have the time. Okay, do you have 10 or 15 minutes where you can just do like an opening arm ceremony where you're like, because it so wakes you up, and it's so just, makes you alive.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Have you ever been to a Vitality Week?
I did. I went to I went to a weekend. I didn't go to the
Okay.
week. I was at the first one in New York at the 59th Street Studio.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. That's definitely a studio that I want to be able to visit after all of this is over.
It's amazing. I actually happened to be in New York. It's opening weekend,
Oh
and I
my gosh.
went opening weekend. I
Oh.
was able to get in the class. I actually had seen pictures of Julie, and I saw her in the studio and like went up and introduced myself, which if you know me, that's not my personality. But I was like, oh wait, like I had seen her, and I've seen her in the studio.
Hmm. Well, it's the Tamily. You can just approach people. It's fine.
Exactly. And you should. Like
Yeah.
if you and it's so well warm and welcoming, which is awesome.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. We have a very, very amazing community. Um,
Yes.
what would be your advice to someone that is new to the method?
To start slowly, but to be consistent, whatever your consistency means. If it's, a couple of times a week first, and just keep trying, because at some point it will click. Because we don't always feel like I feel silly doing opening arms sometimes. I like we don't always look like perfect doing it. Just keep doing it. And definitely if you can get an Instagram and just reach out to somebody, even if you're not ready to post or something. The Tamily members are so warm and welcoming, and um try and get involved a little bit, because it'll
Yeah,
make you want to do it.
yeah, that's a great point too about the posting because a lot of the time people are not like into that for a while or maybe
I
ever.
wasn't.
Yeah, and that's fine. Like,
And I get it. Look, I get it. I still feel like an idiot sometimes when I post.
it is a very weird thing to do. But
Well, the other thing is my account now is public. So
mm,
I have friends, I have their husbands following me. Like, they don't always like my pictures, but I know, like, if I post something that's not Tam related, they're liking my pictures. So I know they're seeing the post. I've had my friend's husband, like, see me on a walk that he lives down the street and was like, you going home to work out? Why don't you do it outside and I'll sit with my beer? Like, really?
oh my gosh.
And my daughter just joined.
That's excellent.
There
Does she
you go.
did?
What? No.
This is a great time to learn about the method.
She knows about it, but they know all too well.
I'm sure they do. Have you faced any challenges in doing the method?
Challenges. Um, Not being able to do some of the like flexibility moves. I'm just not that flexible. I've gotten much better. My flexibility and coordination, which is why I'm telling somebody who is new to the method, like, it comes, and it may not look like as beautiful as somebody else's, and maybe that's not what you want to post, but it comes and it becomes your own.
Yeah, exactly. It just takes time and
It really it does, you know. And like if you feel injured, sometimes you get injured or you moved the wrong way, take a break from that, and um, you know.
yeah, absolutely. You have to just move through it and get there.
Right. You have to listen to your body.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest lessons for sure.
Yeah.
Has anyone in the Tamily given you any advice that has been impactful to you?
Um, Nothing I can think of specifically, but I have to say, like, through my Zoom calls and they're all the family members I've met, and like they're just all so helpful. So there is advice they've given me, you know, that I've, because they, different people think differently. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely true. That's something too about these interviews. Like everyone is so different that's in the family, even though we're connected by the workout, to learn those different views and perspectives. I'm gonna get my dogs to stop barking. Hold on for 1 second, please.
sorry.
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 My dogs didn't bark for the entire day until we were on this interview. So
I know. My husband's like, well, what do you want me to do? Because you always see my miniature schnauzer in the videos. And I'm like downstairs. He's like, what do you want me to do with her? I was like, just let her roam because then she hopefully won't bark.
yeah.
That's why I came down here. I was like, if she's barking, maybe we won't hear her.
That was just a lot. Anyways, now the door is closed to the room where
That's fine. It sounds normal to me.
It was starting to drive me crazy. So have you ever converted anyone to being a Tracy Anderson method devotee?
Unfortunately, no. And I've tried. I had a friend that did it for a little bit, but like until you get to do it consistently, like she had some back issues and getting she wasn't getting it. But I kind of think sometimes you need to like build up to some of it, and you need to sometimes start slowly, more slowly than you think you need to start. Like, because people are in shape and they're like, oh, well, I can do advanced. And it's like, yeah, maybe you can do advanced, but it doesn't mean you're doing advanced right.
Right.
Just because you can do it doesn't mean you're doing it, you know, the way Tracy wants you to be doing it.
Right. Yeah, you haven't learned kind of like the building blocks of
Exactly.
the work. Yeah.
Very, very true.
It is not like anything else to me. I mean, you could be an amazing runner, you can be great at CrossFit.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't help you with this.
Right. You got to be great at Tracy to be able to attain.
It'll help you do all the other stuff, but the other stuff won't help you do Tracy.
Exactly. Oh, that's such a good point. That is a really good way to put that.
It's so true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely is. What do your friends and family think of the method?
They're used to it now. They thought it was wacky at first, and you know, if they ever saw me do arms or whatever, I mean, my kids just know, like, all right, mommy's got to go do that, and just she'll be better when she's done.
Right. Definitely in support of it.
Yes, yes.
Do you have a motivational quote or like a mantra that you kind of rely on that you'd want to share with the Tamily?
Yeah. So mine is progress, not perfection. And it kind of goes into everything.
Mm-hmm.
Even, you know, Tamily and working out, like, you're never going to always have everything perfect. You need to just like slowly get there.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. Just keep working on it.
Just keep working on it. Yep.
And it stays a journey. Like there really is no
Well,
end.
because she keeps evolving. So she never makes, it's never boring, and it never stays the same because she won't stay the same. And it's great. You know, like you never get bored with it, which is what I love.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you fit your workout into your life to be able to stay committed to it regularly?
It's actually just become part of my routine. I'm a very routine person, and I've just made it part of my routine. And if there's a day that's too busy or something, I will just basically like make up my schedule and be like, okay, where do I have time to fit my workout in? You know, does it need to be like first thing in the morning? Do I need to get up earlier to do it?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just have to make it
When it
part of.
becomes a habit, you'll miss it. And, you know, people, I've also had friends say, like, oh my God, you're so consistent. And, like, I try not to get out of the habit of doing it because it's harder to get back into it again.
Mhm. Yeah, that's true. That's true. To me, if I miss one day, it's much more likely to miss several.
Yeah, exactly.
Do it every day.
Yeah, like when you take a rest day, it's like, oh my God, you're taking a rest day. Are you okay? You know, like, you know, because everybody like does it or takes active rest days. And some days your body just needs like a full rest day.
Yeah. Yeah, and you have to know that. You have to get that in tune with yourself to know when that's really necessary, or, if you do need to just push yourself to actually do the workout.
You're right.
Um, what is your philosophy about working out and rest days in particular?
Um, I work out most days. Um, I will take a rest day when I need it. I don't necessarily plan them um, unless there's something really big that happens.
Mhm.
Um, and that's how I plan on doing it most days so that if I have to take a rest day, it's fine.
Mhm.
Like I don't plan my week, okay, these 2 days are my rest day or this is my rest day, unless there's something like I, for whatever reason can't do.
Mhm. Yeah, that's a great way to think about it. Then you don't feel bad if something comes up and you actually can't do it.
Right,
So,
because you're like, oh, I would have worked out yesterday if I knew that I couldn't work out tomorrow or something,
mhm.
whatever.
Yeah, yeah. How did you discover the Tamily? Because obviously you started this method before the Tamily existed.
Yeah, through Tracy.
Mm.
When I met her that first time, I was on Instagram, not posting, not even knowing exactly what I was doing because it was like 4 years ago. And I was private, my account was private, and she followed me. So I was able to follow, well, I think she was always public. She followed me, and through that, I found like everybody else. So it's Tracy.
So cool.
So for me, it was great. Yeah,
She's like
I mean,
first Tamily friend.
yes, yes, she really was.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Do you remember your first workout related post to Instagram?
Oh, yeah. It was the end of my health coaching course, and I was doing these health coaching circles. And as part of my challenge, we had like weekly challenges. I wanted to start posting my workouts because I wanted to show the importance of working out as your balanced life, balanced health coaching, and how I was going to start that whole thing. So
Oh.
that's how I started. I'm so glad I did because it has been so much more rewarding than how silly I feel sometimes when I'm posting.
Right, definitely. It's a good way to balance. We have a question in the chat from Nicole. She said, do you have a favorite type of move? And on the other hand, are there any moves that you'd rather never showed up in class?
The headstand, I would rather not show up ever because a headstand is not going to happen. Although I have to say, about a week or two ago, we did a headstand on the chair.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, it's a headstand, forget it, I can't do it. And I literally tried it. I was like, oh my God, I may not have done it the way I was supposed to, but I actually could get into the move a little bit. And that was like progress. Yeah. Some of the, like when she does like somersaults, some of the, unfortunately, for lack of a better word, some of the more like circusy moves are what are really hard for me.
Yeah, 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 those are the complicated ones I can't figure out. That's why I stay in fundamental.
Yeah, and Moves that I do like are actually like planks.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, once you've built that strength, planks can be fun.
exactly.
Um, where do you live and what do you do?
I live in New Jersey. I live in South Jersey now. I live probably about 25 minutes outside of Philly. And right now, I am actively going to start a health coaching business. I did a health coaching program after I had my cancer, and that's what I want to do.
That's excellent. It's a really great path into health and obviously well-being.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's awesome to hear about that inside of the Tamily too. So that's exciting. Definitely keep us updated on your journey through it.
I will. I will.
What is the most important thing to you in maintaining balance in your life?
That it's not only my workouts, that I did a health coaching course that really made sense to me. So besides the nutrition part of it, there was like another non-food part that was a pie chart with different parts of the pie chart, with like home cooking, your work environment, your family environment, your relationships, and it's about creating balance everywhere, not just in one thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's definitely critical. We have another question in the chat. This is from Kristen. She said, do you use Tracy's music or make your own playlists? And what type of music do you like?
I normally use Tracy's music. I have really now started because of Adita. I think she's on. She's making Apple Music lists, and I have Apple Music. So anybody who has an Apple Music that wants to share their playlist with me, I'm not really good at doing the playlist. And I actually like very like upbeat music when I work out, like lively, like top 40 or, like top things, sometimes even that you can like sing to. So you kind of like get involved in the music instead of in the hard moves. So yes, so I have been starting to use playlists now, and I really like it. It changes up my workout so much. There was a time, I liked when Tracy did those Spotify classes where the trainers were doing them, and
Yeah.
the music was so different. And for a while, especially in the beginning of COVID, she was using. I understand why she was using it, but some of the music just like, oh my God, this is going to go on forever.
It really does make a difference to the workout.
It does. It does.
I feel like I start hating the workout and then I'm like, that's not it. It's this music.
It's this music. Yeah. And everybody, and that's the problem is like everybody has a different music that gets them going, But I like upbeat music that I can kind of move with.
Yeah, and your point about being able to sing it like that, I don't know. When I know the song, it's so different than even if it's kind of a good beat, but I've never heard it before, like a lot of Tracy's music.
Yes. So just like, don't come in my basement sometimes.
Yeah. So we've got a little bit of a conversation going about pie in the chat, which I think happened because you said pie chart. So Nicole asked, do you have a favorite type of pie?
I'm not really a pie eater. Sorry. It was a pie chart. That was trying to give you an example.
Yes. Yeah. People are now commenting about pie. That's pretty
pie. Funny. Yes. Do you have a favorite type of pie? Yeah. No.
It's not a usual.
Chocolate, though, you could give question. Me.
How do you feel immediately following a workout?
Great. That's why I do it. You have to think about how you know you're going to feel after. And that's why you should do it.
Yeah,
I
accomplished.
mean, it takes a little bit of time, but you feel great, and I feel very productive at that time. Like, I'm awake, I'm alive, I'm like, okay, what are we doing? Let's just get it done.
Mhm. Yeah, that is a huge difference to me with like doing AM workouts and just
Yeah.
setting the tone
Yeah.
that you feel like you've accomplished so much already.
Yes.
What are you most proud of personally?
My kids.
That's definitely a good answer. If you could say something to your 20-year-old self, what would you say?
To relax.
Mm.
Enjoy, and not that I didn't enjoy, but definitely to relax and trust myself, and be an advocate for myself.
Mm-hmm. Gosh, I wish we all could do that and start the method at 20 instead of.
I wish I could have started the method at 20. Yes.
Yeah, that would be definitely life changing.
It's literally like my kid's age right now.
So non-glam Tam has a question for you. She said, is there any feature or class you'd like Tracy to offer on the website?
Hmm.
There's so much on there already.
Yeah. I'd actually like her to, and she used to do it, archive some of the classes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, there,
Uh,
like, I'd like to do it every so often. There's a class you're like, I really just don't drive with that. And then you do the other class, like whether it be fundamental or routine, and you're like, I'm not driving with that either. And sometimes you just want to do a workout that you just kind of like drive with.
mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't happen often, and we are so fortunate that we get new content every week, so it never lasts for long.
Mm-hmm.
But there are definitely times. Sorry, Tracy.
You're reminding me of, I think it was called like the classroom experience, where she had a class from each studio that was so cool. And they all had like such different energy. Like,
Yes.
She definitely has to add that to the website. We
Yes.
need to.
And I would also like her very first streaming class
Mhm.
added back to the website, because
Mhm.
that was amazing. I still remember her talk at the very beginning of that. It's like, we're not, there's no shaming, there's no, what did she, now I'm making
Judgment.
yes, this is a judgment-free zone, which is what I love.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel like the Tamily members are now. Like, this is a judgment-free zone. We don't judge anybody. We don't judge ourselves. We just,
Mhm.
I wish that class would come back too.
Yeah, we have to get her to do that, because that's actually like such a good class for people who are new to streaming as well, to see like
The very first class and how it's evolved since then.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know how we can get her to do that, but we need her to do it.
We do.
We'll
Okay,
post
we
it.
all as a group need to like email and say we need classroom experience back, and we need the very first streaming.
Yeah, absolutely. What a good question that was. Oh
Yes, Jess, that was a great question.
How have the challenges that you've been through changed your perspective about life?
Definitely to live more in the moment and to be happy every day and just to enjoy every day.
Yeah, that's sometimes challenging, but such
It
a
is.
reminder.
Yeah, it is. You just, you have ups and downs, and you always do. And you have to enjoy them. To have an up, you are going to probably have a down, but it's going to go back up. And don't dwell on a lot of the stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll get better.
Mm-hmm.
We will get out of COVID.
We will.
We will.
One day.
I don't know when, but we have our Zooms till we get out.
Right. 2020 is the longest year of our lives, but we're going to make it.
Yes.
What would you like to share with the Tamily about your journey while you have this audience?
Well, for me would be definitely for the breast cancer is you need to get your mammograms. You saw my story. For me, the mammogram found it. There was a 6-month difference between my mammogram that found it and my next mammogram, and I had 2 lumpectomies, and the first one didn't get it out. Unfortunately, I didn't put off my second one, and they were able to do another lumpectomy. And if I had let it go longer, it would have, gone into full-blown cancer. Not that it wasn't, but I was able to get away without doing chemo, which was amazing. I mean, not that I still did radiation, I still did 2 lumpectomies, I still, I'm like getting up from the table after my lumpectomy is, okay, how long can I work out for? Because they don't want you to move your arms.
Yeah.
And like, what can I do? What can I do? Like, because I'm just not a sitter. So that's the hardest thing.
Yeah. But that's an important point about it being early and not putting off your health.
No, and be an advocate for yourself. If the doctor's saying something that you don't understand, get a second opinion, do your research, because nobody is going to advocate for you but you.
Mm-hmm. That's such an important point too. Like, if you don't feel comfortable with what the recommendation is or the treatment, or, you have to find the answer that's going to be right for you. So yeah, that's an excellent point too.
Yeah, like my second lumpectomy, I had seen a different breast surgeon, and I liked her so much more. Mm-hmm. And I got like a team then, and she's like, this is going to be your oncologist, this is going to be your radiologist, this is going to be this, and this is what we're going to do. And I was like, okay. And it just makes it more doable and achievable, and it just worked.
Yeah, exactly. And you want to feel like you have that support, and
you need that support
involved. Mm-hmm.
Yes, you need that support, and you need to feel confident in your opinion and in your decisions and in your doctors, and that they are telling you what you really need to do instead of whatever.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Like, there are options, and you have to know what they are and figure that out. Not feel like you have to do exactly what one particular, person has told you. Kind of like with, anything about health and wellness,
Exactly. I had them say you can get a mastectomy if you want. You can get a double mastectomy. Mm-hmm. So I didn't go down that route, mm-hmm. and means more maintenance for me. But for me right now, I'm glad I didn't. Mm-hmm. And hopefully it stays that way.
Yeah, it is obviously a very tough and personal decision you have to find.
It is.
For you.
Yeah.
And definitely the support obviously makes a huge difference. And sharing your story and, the other women that are doing that this month, I think can make such a huge impact to the Tamily, to see that and hear about different journeys, hear about different choices people have made, and knowing that you're not alone when you're going through a struggle.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I hope so. I hope people see. And for me, it's basically just taking, your mammograms and making sure you're, keeping up with them, because they do find things. Mm-hmm. It's not like there was no lump there. There was no lump that the breast surgeon could feel. Mm-hmm. And she knew where she was, she knew where it was. And she mm-hmm. was like, I can't feel anything. That's how small it was. Mm-hmm. And it was that small that I didn't have to do chemo, which was that's a
Yeah.
whole nother 9 yards. I was listening to these, breast cancer stories like in tears because it was so relatable to me, and it's just great. So
Definitely the early
detection.
makes a huge difference, and that's fantastic that you were able to have that caught at that stage.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you for your openness and sharing that journey with us. Let me see if we have any other questions that we wanted to make sure to ask. And let me see if there's any other questions in the chat. I think we've got them all. Lots of hearts and smiley faces. Everyone really likes you, Susan.
Oh, thank you. I really like everyone. It's such a warm and welcoming community. It's just, they're the best.
It really is. I don't know how any of us would have survived any year of our lives, but particularly this year without the Tamily.
It's so true. And I can see how much my life has changed just from having all these Zooms and meetups and, workout buddies that I never had. Cause that's the one thing when you first start this, you're like alone doing it. Mm-hmm. And until you start seeing results, mm-hmm. you're like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? Mm-hmm. And, am I going to, and Tracy has never been a quick fix. She doesn't claim to be a quick fix, but she believes in balance in the body, and you get there. Mm-hmm. And you see your body changing and adjusting and looking better.
Yeah, exactly. We have a question in the chat for you from JC Burke. She said, what do you advise your daughters to do after your breast cancer experience?
Well, I did get tested and I do not have the gene, so they should be okay. But as they get older, I will make sure that they start their mammograms probably on the earlier side than on the later side. Mm-hmm. But I was tested for the gene because of them, and I do not have it.
That's definitely good to know.
That is a great question, Jen. And I hope you got your mammogram.
Right. Mammogram reminders all around.
All around, everybody.
Well, Susan, thank you so much for being our 118th interview.
Thank you for having me. This is great.
Another question. Sorry. So Jen said she adores the focus you have when you tam. What is the source of that focus that you're able to hold during your workout?
I'm really just trying to follow her. Because I once saw that she said to follow her like a video game. And I just try to follow her and like feel what I'm supposed to be doing and concentrate on doing it instead of having my mind wander and not, like spending my workout time as my workout time, as my time to just do it.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and fully focus on that.
Mm-hmm. Because you can get lost in whatever you're thinking and forget that you're actually moving, and which is okay sometimes, but sometimes you need to focus if you want to feel it in the right muscles and that you're activating the muscles you want to activate.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah, there is a very important power in thinking about what you're doing while you work out.
Yes.
We have another question in the chat. Now we're gonna go crazy in the chat, and
That's fine.
Time. But this question is from El Boogie Tam, and she said, "Do you have any Tam goals as you continue to evolve with the method?"
Just to keep going, just to keep it up. Like that's really my goal, is just to keep it up and to do it, because the method will evolve for me because she keeps evolving it.
Exactly. So. Yep. Chair, no chair. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I know some people like the chair. I was happy to see a chair gone this week, even though I wanted the chair initially. I was like, oh, it would be great to have the chair because you just you need the change, but I
Yeah.
needed the change. And
Yeah.
so.
Any other final things you would like to say with the Tamily before we end?
Just that I love them all. I love the method and love them all, and so happy for everybody I've met and for the people that follow me on Instagram and that I follow. And I can't wait to meet you all. I can't wait for Tamily meetups.
Gosh, I hope they're very soon in 2020. Oh my.
We can all drive places. I know people
Definitely.
are overseas, but we can drive.
Right. Like, at least some of us can get together in various places and then all Zoom together.
And all Zoom together, yes. We'll rent out a big room so we can Zoom internationally, right?
That would be awesome.
It would be.
Well, thank you so much, Susan, for being our 118th interview.
Thank you for having me. It was wonderful.
You are definitely a true inspiration in the Tamily, and we appreciate you sharing your journey with us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great weekend, Tamily. Bye-bye.
Bye.